Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Alex Pereira has been practicing his English ahead of UFC 287. During a recent interview, Pereira promises a stellar fight this weekend.
Hi guys, the time has come. I have my first title defense on Saturday in Miami against Israel Adesanya. Don't miss it. And get your pay-per-view for UFC 287. I will promise you a hell of a fight. Chama.
In a recent interview, Khamzat claimed the UFC offered him a fight against Robert Whittaker. However, Whittaker claims he never received such an offer. Here's what Whittaker had to say about the situation. Someone said that Chimaev said that they offered me a fight and that I turned it down. I was never offered a fight with Chimaev. I haven't been offered any fight. I've just been waiting. I've been talking with the UFC and the communication has been, let's wait and see what happens with this title shot. I have not received any sort of written contract that says, do you want to fight Chimaev in X, Y, or Z? That's not something that's been presented to me, so just clarifying that. Justin Gaethje believes a potential rematch against Dustin Poirier would be the fight of the century. During an interview with MMAfighting.com, here's what Gaethje had to say.
Yeah, I think that's the obvious answer. He's number 2. He has no dance partner, and same with me. So, yeah, I think that fight is certainly a title contention fight. The winner of the Oliveira and Dariush fight, obviously, are going to fight for the title in October, and so yeah, I need to fight Dustin in August, September, or October to put me on that perfect timeline. You can't force anybody to fight. I'm not saying that he doesn't want to fight me, but he probably doesn't need to ever fight again with how much money he's made. So I don't know. I think he'll take it. Some people around me think he won't take it, but all I can do is focus on myself in that regard. I mean, obviously that's always a concern. I need a dance partner, and if they say no, then there's literally nothing I can do about it. I'm not concerned personally about Dustin specifically, because I think he's not done fighting. I think he's still going to want to fight. I think I'm a big fight, a big name. It's a win-win for both of us. At the end of the day, I think he's got phenomenal skills. He's a hell of a matchup for me, and nothing short of fight of the century again.
Israel Adesanya is surprised he's opened as the betting favorite to beat Alex Pereira this weekend. Here's what Adesanya had to say.
I am surprised by that, to be honest, because I thought these bookies weren't as smart as they are. So I'm surprised they actually picked me as a favorite, because I am the more polished fighter, but he's just the guy that's got, those tools, that he's got that nuke. He's, only a few fighters in history have that. Like you just said in an interview, you're lucky to face a Mike Tyson. You're lucky to face a guy like David Tua. You're lucky to face a guy like Deontay Wilder, even just once in your career. You're lucky to face a guy like Alex Pereira even once in your career. So yeah, lucky me.
Adesanya also went on to say he's feeling stronger than ever ahead of his rematch with Pereira.
But I feel stronger. I feel stronger. I'm hitting harder. So yeah, I guess my boy AB's been getting me right since before Christmas.
Gilbert Burns blasts Jorge Masvidal for his retirement claims earlier in the week. Burns says it's a bad look for Masvidal.
The guy said that. I personally, I would never said going to a fight, if anything happens, I'm retiring, because I just don't think that's a good look. I heard a couple guys saying, oh, if I win and retire, and these guys always lose. So I'm not gonna be that guy that, if whatever happens, happens. But first of all, me personally, I don't like that look in saying, if something happens, I'm retiring. So he's already thinking about it, and I'm gonna remind that on the fight. But he's a danger. I think he's saying that, he's gonna throw everything on me. I just believe he's gonna start hard. I had that conversation back and forth with Henry. I said, I think he's gonna start like crazy, like he did with Kamaru in the first fight. He's gonna try to get me out of there on the beginning. And then Henry, I like if he comes like that, but I don't think, because he is 51 fights, he's a veteran, a lot of experience, but I see him coming very aggressive. So with that being said, if he loses, he retired, I think he's gonna try everything on his power to beat me.
Mike Perry talks about a potential fight against Darren Till in the future.
BKFC president David Feldman, he did an interview with the Schmo where he told him that if you do get the win over Luke Rockhold, that Darren Till could actually be a possibility for you next. What do you make of that statement?
I mean, who the is that guy? But anyways, I mean, whatever. We all know who Darren Till is. We all wanted to see me and him fight for a while, and you know, he talking about they better come with some astronomical offers and this and that, and you know, one at a time. I'm focused on Luke. I got the bigger challenge in front of me. Luke's in my opinion a harder opponent than Darren, and so once I do beat Luke, then we'll talk, because you know, I haven't heard Darren mention that he wants to fight me. I guess he had one video, he said, you know, but then he was just talking about 2 other fighters that he was trying to fight with. So, you know, whatever, man. I'm gonna fight. This is the fight to watch. April 29th, Platinum Mike Perry versus Luke Rockhold, main event, BKFC 41.
Michael Bisping and Anthony Smith react to the news that the UFC's parent company, Endeavor, bought the WWE. Here's the clip.
Like, I would imagine Daniel Cormier would probably want to do a bunch of stuff, you know, in the WWE, even when he was competing. So,
well, he was there this weekend. I don't know if you saw that on his Instagram.
Yeah. So, you know, DC's a big WWE guy. I know that Connor probably would be one of those guys who would do a bunch of stuff over there too. I think he's a little bit of a fan. So I think that bridges that gap now, because they're kind of under the same umbrella. So I think that for those huge superstar guys, and not like the WWE is going to ask me to come over and do anything, but you know, the bigger names, I think that bridges that gap a little bit and makes some more opportunities. I just think it's interesting. I don't know how cool or not cool it is. It's definitely interesting that, you know, WME or Endeavor bought
it's certainly
WWE.
A smart business move by Ari Emanuel and Endeavor. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, to be in the position to do that, you're going to be an extremely uber successful person to own the UFC and the WWE at the same time. But I think together, I think I saw something worth $21.5 billion combined, which is just insane.
Chael Sonnen gives his take on how Belal Muhammad can get a title shot during an interview with the Schmo.
Let's talk about Belal Muhammad. He wanted that title shot badly, but Dana White, he announced Colby Covington. He's getting the crack at Leon Edwards. It looks like they're going to be doing that over in London, you know, midsummer. So if you're Belal Muhammad, what do you do to ensure that you're the next in line to get that title shot?
And so, boy, I mean, they're talking about, I think the Belal Muhammad fills in right now for the qualifications to be a backup fighter. I think the backup spot is a very coveted spot. Some guys don't agree with me, but if you go and ask Michael Chandler how well it worked out with him, or you ask Kamaru Usman himself, or you ask what's about to be Colby Covington, it's a very coveted spot. And I think that it's one that Belal might want to look at. I do believe the rumors are true about Belal taking on Rakhmonov. The big problem with that is when Dana came out and announced we're working on something big for Belal, he protected Rakhmonov's name. That's not generally the way you would do it for the B-side. And I do think that there's at least a little bit of room. Ian Parker had made a suggestion, but he said perhaps it isn't Rakhmonov. Perhaps it's the real number one contender that everybody's forgetting about already, Kamaru Usman. Perhaps Belal is going to get in there with Kamaru, which obviously would be a true number one contenders match.
What do you guys think about Chael's comments? Should Belal face off against Kamaru Usman in a number one contenders match? Let us know your opinion in the comment section. Dan Hardy gives his opinion on this weekend's main event between Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira. Here's what Hardy had to say.
You know, I'm kind of leaning towards Pereira. I feel like when fights are so evenly matched, and they are, you know, technically these guys are quite evenly matched. There are differences in the way they approach it. Adesanya is a slicker striker. If I wanted to learn striking, I've said this a few times, you might have heard me say it before. If I wanted to learn striking off one of the two of them, it would be Adesanya, because I feel like he's got a much better understanding of the striking game overall, because he's probably had to work harder for it because he's not as powerful. You know, he's got double the experience in kickboxing as well as much more MMA experience. But sometimes I just feel like size and strength makes a difference. And because Pereira's now got Adesanya's number in kickboxing and MMA, I feel like he's probably going to find him again. Might be a little bit earlier this time. There are two ways it goes, and it depends on Adesanya's durability, I think. He's either going to get stopped earlier than he did last time, late second, early third, or we're going to see him get knocked down a few times and lose rounds quite big, and then lose a decision, and Pereira remains champion.
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.